Don't mind me. Just dealing with a little personal summer over here. Just give me a sec. Whew, that's better. Hey everyone, how's it going? I'm Kira Wackett. Thanks for joining me for another video as we work to empower and equip you with the confidence and skills to write your own story so that you can live your life on purpose. Today I want to normalize the everyday bodily function we all have to navigate: sweating. I used to worry about the dreaded pitting that happened every time I walked on stage, recorded a video, or raised my arms during a Zoom presentation. Whether the room was too hot, I was anxious, or my shirt wasn't breathable enough, it seemed as soon as I was about to start speaking, my armpits took a little trip to the rainforest, coming out drenched and ready for the world to see. I tried everything to get it to stop. Different deodorants, including the prescription ones that stain your shirts that wouldn't show sweat, which is wishful thinking because you can see sweat on any color, armpit cleanses, diet changes, paper towels in the armpits. No matter what I did, the sweat kept on coming. Finally, I got to the point where I thought, what I'm doing doesn't seem to be changing the outcome and is only leaving me feeling ashamed and out of control. So I had to make a decision. I couldn't control the fact that I sweat, or that it would be visibly present at times I wish it wasn't. But I could change my mindset around it. I could learn to control what was in my control and let go of the rest. I could control how I viewed my body. I could control when and how the audience became aware of my sweat. And I could control how much time I allowed those self-flagellating thoughts to rule my head. After all, if my work is focused on shame resiliency and vulnerability, I need to learn to be vulnerable enough to accept my pit-stained reality. Now, the first time I decided just to name the very wet elephant in the room, I was so nervous. I assumed everyone would think I was gross and lose respect for me, thinking I didn't know what I was talking about or would somehow tie this to my credibility. Ridiculous, I know, but we all know the power of anxiety. What's interesting is the opposite happened. As soon as I raised my arm, people laughed. They nodded their heads. Many shared that they had these same experiences, sweating at inopportune times and feeling judged and ashamed. One person even shared that she had to work through this same shame and that she now calls her sweat episodes a personal summer, which you heard me refer to in the beginning of this video. She reframes it to find humor and joy instead of judgment in it for something she both can't and is no longer interested in trying to change. See, in that moment, I learned that sharing my reality out loud bolstered my credibility and connection. It made it less about giving a perfect presentation and more about allowing us all to explore what role vulnerability can have in our fight against shame. See, when I give people the opportunity to hear a part of my inner shame dialogue, I create space in the following ways. I normalize shame-based thoughts. I bring universality in that it takes me off a pedestal and puts us all on equal footing in the room. I create a basis for genuine connection, allowing our conversations to go deeper and more space for self-exploration. I remove the first share fear and that, look, I've already shared the first embarrassing or vulnerable point in our conversation and discussion, and others don't have to fear being first as the presentation or the conversation goes on. And it allows me to practice cognitive diffusion, which is centered on the idea that thoughts are just thoughts and that I don't have to get lost in them. Putting it into practice in real time invites others to practice this as well. And as I've gotten more comfortable with this practice, I've broadened my scope of vulnerability shares. Look, I share real-time thoughts when I'm speaking that I'm doing a lousy job, or that somebody might not like me, or that I'm getting caught up in others' reactions. I share when I get stuck looking at myself on camera and how distracting that can be when you're trying to present, and even the ways that shame tries to scream over me while presenting so I lose my words or get lost in explanations. Sharing all of this in real time has been incredible. In those moments, I'm not seeking validation from anybody else to tell me that's BS or that doesn't really happen. I'm just putting it in the world so I can move past it. I don't allow the thoughts to take up more space than they need. And by doing this, I allow people the opportunity to not only do this for themselves, you should see the comment sections in some of the talks I give, but to secure a true human to human, imperfectly perfect connection. The more we allow ourselves to take the risk and share our shame, the more we invite connection and dismantle shame. We step away from systems of comparison, conformity, and external validation to authenticity and vulnerability. We make our humanity the central point of connection rather than the thing we try to desperately hide. So as we come to a close, I invite you to consider, what can this look like for you? What thoughts, self-judgments, and shame-based thinking would you love to free yourself of? What would it be like to allow yourself to release these thoughts into the world and be seen with and in them so that you can work to free yourself from them? Be sure to share your insights and stuck points with us in the comments so that we can continue this conversation. Check out the show notes for some links to other resources on breaking out of shame-driven culture and shifting to a values-driven life. And if you haven't joined the AR Insider yet, be sure to click a link in the notes and get yourself on the list to get exclusive content and discounts that I don't share anywhere else, and stay in the know on all of the new content and projects that I'm working on. If you like what you're hearing, give me that thumbs up and share this video with someone else you think could benefit from the content. And if you want to stay in the know on any new content that I'm putting out on YouTube, click that subscribe button to get an alert whenever something else gets added. Thank you for being here with me today. After all, everyone sweats. And only when we allow that possibility to guide us, rather than shame us, can we truly connect.